Hello, my YouTube collective. It's your Ghoul Essence, and I'm here to deliver your weekend messages. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Thank you for returning. I won't take up too much of your time. I will just jump into it. I do hope you all are having a great week. If not, I do hope this weekend is much better for you. So, starting with money moves, you do have smart decisions, strategic investments, building wealth, making my money work. You also have self-made, independent success, overcoming odds, creating your own path, built from nothing. I am tying this into the King of Pentacles in a reverse, being clarified by the Nine of Swords in a reverse. I am hearing Jay-Z 99 problems, but ain't one. I really feel like you guys could have been in a period of your life where you really had a bunch of problems. I'm hearing more problems than you can count. And I do feel like with the King of Pentacles in a reverse, I am also hearing, did you ever think that you could be this rich? Did you ever think that you could be the shit? I do feel like this was, again, you guys being in a period of your life where things probably really felt helpless for you. You probably never imagined you'd be in a certain season of your life now where you have copious amounts of money. I'm hearing you don't have to worry about anything. With self-made, you could be starting a business, you could be like, releasing some kind of product. This could be you just being in a much better period of your life that you would not have imagined ever having for yourself, back then. With the Two of Wands in a reverse, being clarified by the Ace of Swords upright, I am seeing this as someone else's energy. This could be one or multiple people who are kind of just, again, seeing you get out of a season of your life where you could not even think about the future. You probably were in survival mode where you only could think about, right now and a couple seconds after that. I always say with the Ace of Swords, up is deliberation, down is decided. I do feel like there is like this watchful energy, people just kind of wanting to know your next moves or seeing what you're going to do next. Some of it could be like, monitoring and malicious, but I feel like most of it is like this piqued interest because you could be coming out of a period of your life where you are or were really struggling, and now you are with self-made doing much better. I want to jump back into your oracle because you do have plastic smiles, fake kindness, forced friendliness, hiding resentment behind smiles, friends in name only. I am tying this into hidden agenda where you do have secret intentions, manipulation disguised as kindness, hidden motivations too helpful to trust. And at the bottom of the deck, you do have photoshopped, faked perfection, artificial beauty, unrealistic standards, filtered beyond recognition. And I do feel like this has a lot to do with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, being clarified by this King of Cups upright, as well as the Three of Pentacles upright, being clarified by the Five of Pentacles upright. I am hearing I'm good enough now. And I do feel like you guys, again, you are in a much better period of your life. And I don't think it's something as simple, and this is not to rag on people or shit on people. I don't think it's anything as simple as you were jobless for a week or two or a month or two, and now you're working at a big corporation. This could be something as drastic as you guys could have been on the streets, homeless, strung out, having to do the most for even a place to stay and a bite to eat, and now you are owning multiple cars and you have your own home, beautiful home, you own multiple properties. I do feel like this is with a self-made, like this is you being some kind of success story, or this is you just kind of beating odds and literally also beating the odds of people who kind of counted you out, or I'm hearing left you for dead. Circling that back to what the cards I pulled, plastic smile, hidden agenda, photoshopped, I do feel like the Six of Pentacles in a reverse being clarified by the King of Cups upright is you hearing from people, especially with the Five of Pentacles upright, that you may not have ever heard from before. But I also do feel like this is people who didn't want to be friends with you, who didn't want to work with you, who didn't want to give you the time of day, also wanting to extend a helping hand, extend an invitation, wanting to look in your direction. And I feel like, again, these are people who at one point were overlooking you. I am tying this into the bottom of the deck, photoshopped, fake perfection, artificial beauty, unrealistic standards, filtered beyond recognition. There could be some people who are coming in trying to see if you really are, I'm hearing what you're about, if you really are living the life that you portray, if you really are stable as you let on. But I feel like most of these people are people who are trying to just get in your good graces because they feel like, again, you have something that was not, I'm hearing was unexpected, but was not expected of you. If you own a business, this could be people wanting to be friends with you to receive free services. If this is you guys I don't even know, having a big beautiful home with a bunch of cars, these are people wanting to extend again and offer a friendship to you because they would like to be able to ride one of these cars. They would love to be able to go to your house. These are people seeing something with the Wheel of Fortune upright at the bottom of the deck and the Four of Wands upright as well, and the Chariot upright as well. I do feel like these are people seeing that you are moving on to a much brighter future, a much better chapter in your story. And ultimately, they do want to have some part in this. They want to have a seat at your table. I feel like the Four of Wands could represent, like, you know, you having a partner, you and this person are a power couple, but I feel like this has a lot more to do with the home itself. And you probably have a beautiful home, literally, or like, you know, you are just coming home to a better version of yourself. With the Chariot upright, I was saying this analogy on my TikTok live for a couple weeks now, where I was saying, like, you know, a lot of people could feel like they are running after a bus. They're trying to hurry up and catch that bus before the bus leaves them and they're stranded. These could be people literally feeling like, you know, you are about to leave them behind, and what you're moving on to is something great, and they would love to be attached to you. They would either love to say that they know you, or they would love to be, like, you know, in your good graces to benefit off of you in some way. And underneath Photoshopped, you actually do have breaking cycles, which is ending harmful patterns, freedom from repetition, new beginnings. It stops with me. Collective, again, you guys could have been at a really low point in your life. Some of you could have been, again, the example I gave earlier, you could have been homeless, you could have been strung out, you could have just been, like, you know, repeating really toxic behaviors that kept you trapped in a lower vibration and as a lower version of yourself. Either way, I feel like I'm hearing clean up your act. You guys cleaned up your act, and not only did you clean up your act, you kind of bounced back better than before. Again, I don't think this is something as simple as you being down and out for a couple months and then, like, you know, you got a good job and you're good now. I think it's something more drastic where, like, you know, you could have really been left for dead. You could have really just been coming across to people as like a lost cause. And again, I feel like a lot of people counted you out. You could have also just been, like, you know, since you were counted out and seen as a lost cause, this could have been something that was, like, you know, I'm hearing whispered. You could have had people whispering about you to other people. You could have had a really bad reputation or a really bad rap to your name. And again, I feel like whatever it is you're doing now, it is completely just erasing that and making people want to, I'm hearing, know what you're about, see what you're about. Let's pull some messages about who is coming toward the collective. What do we need to know about who's coming toward the collective? What do they want? Anything, actually. Most important messages. I'm hearing curiouser and curiouser. There could be people who, like, have been trying to hold back from, like, you know, reaching out to you or trying to approach you because I'm hearing shame. There could be some people who were ashamed in how they treated you. There could be some people who wish that they were, you know, I'm hearing of better use to you. I do feel like there's some people who just would also hate, so I'm hearing bite their tongue, would hate to have to bite their tongue. I'm hearing I told you so. But with going back to curiouser and curiouser, I do feel like there are people who feel like they can't hold back anymore. They just have to know what's going on. They just have to reach out to you. They just have to see you. So a lot of people could be reaching out due to curiosity, just wanting to see what you have going on, literally. You do have safe space, emotional sanctuary, comfortable solitude, protected vulnerability. Here I am safe. And it's really funny because before I pulled this, I was going to say, again, a lot of people could also be feeling like they can't hold back anymore because something about you, I'm hearing, vanished. Like you may have, you know, stopped posting less. You may have moved away. With the Four of Wands upright, you could be, I'm hearing, tucked off and ducked away. You could be tucked off and ducked away in your own little corner. You could just be really happy alone. You may have built a life for yourself where you don't really need to, I'm hearing, be out and open or be in the mix, really. And I'm also hearing, if you want me, you know where to find me. This could also be one of those things where, like, you no longer feel a need to reach out to people who, again, counted you out. You could have been, like, reaching out for help. You could have been trying to, like, get advice or guidance from people. I'm hearing laughed off. You may have felt laughed off by people, and ultimately you just, you know, moved over and got out of the way and created your own little space by yourself. And I do feel like people kind of, like, you know, got off on making you feel excluded or seeing you be in the season of, like, chasing and begging for inclusivity. I'm hearing inclusivity, or begging to be included. This could be you just kind of holding back, and a lot of people may have expected to hear from you at some point now, or just check in on you and see that you're doing terrible, and they could be really surprised to see, again, that you are doing great. And not only are you doing great, but you didn't reach out. You're not looking for attention. You're not doing anything. That is bringing me to payback. You have consequences returning, karma cycle, what goes around, time to settle accounts, tying it back into biting your tongue, and again, just having to approach you with some feeling of shame. I feel like a lot of people feel like, you know, you doing well is some type of payback. A lot of these people could be in the position that they thought you would be in. A lot of these people could be just, you know, in comparison to you, like they're doing great. But like I said earlier, I don't think like this is some thing where you guys were down and out on your luck financially for a couple months and now you're working somewhere like, you know, in a beautiful office building. I think this is something even more drastic where you guys were doing terrible. You guys could have been like, you know, I'm hearing shameful. You could have been shamed for your circumstances or I'm hearing things out of your control. But you guys took that situation and made it into something amazing. A lot of you could be opening businesses, starting your own company. You could just be having like the financial freedom that a lot of people I'm hearing could only dream of. And I feel like, again, like you doing this well is some type of payback. And I don't think it's you guys like, you know, you didn't wake up every single day like, I'm going to make a beautiful life for myself just to rub it in everyone's face. I think you guys truly just, again, like got out of the way and focused on yourself and built up a beautiful life. And ultimately, a lot of people may be doing well, but they're not doing as good as you. And some people may not be doing well as all, but they always got off on the idea of, at least I'm doing better than the collective. I'm hearing nothing left to say and who's laughing now, which is funny because you do have overnight success. And it's even more funnier because in the beginning I was before I got on here I was hearing Twista, overnight celebrity, and it's a song that goes, I can make you a celebrity overnight. So a lot of you could be like, again, seeing some type of like amazing turnaround in your life. You could be truly like, you know, popular in the online scene. You could be popular in Hollywood or something. Like I do feel like you guys are doing something drastic. Like I don't think it's just a simple, again, I don't want to keep repeating this, but I don't think it's just a simple like, oh, the collective is doing well, they got a good job working for like, you know, the government, and they have a nice little apartment and like their pets and they're just living a nice, I'm hearing mediocre. And I don't think it's, again, like you guys, there's anything wrong with a mediocre life. I think you guys are making people feel mediocre in comparison to you because something about your life is just so not, I'm hearing elevated. You guys may have elevated to higher levels, but something about your life is just so like surprising for you. It's also just like, you know, so different, intriguing. But you do have overnight success, rapid rise, sudden recognition, unexpected breakthrough, all eyes on me. And I also feel like the all eyes on me, again, you guys could have felt invisible. You guys could have been made to feel invisible. You guys could have been made to feel like, you know, nothing important, not all that special. And I do feel like you guys now are, again, receiving some kind of recognition. You guys could also just be living a life that's worth recognizing. But I do feel like this is one of those things where you are no longer in an energy of being able to be pushed off or not ignored. There's something about you that is just like respectable. And we're back to money moves. You do have smart decisions, strategic investments, building wealth, making my money work. I'm hearing you can call me a lot of things, but you can't call me broke. So a lot of you could be, again, just having money. And I'm also hearing Nicki Minaj did it on them. Like, I feel like you guys, again, like you turned your life around in a way where like, not only is it just respectable or it's beautiful, but it's also like something that cannot be ignored. Like, I do feel like there's something about the way that you have, I'm hearing the leisure that you have, the money that you have, I'm hearing fluidness that you have. A lot of you just are living a life that I'm hearing, again, some can only dream of. And it's really funny, underneath this, you do have bag secured, achieving goals, mission accomplished, financial stability, got it locked. And I'm hearing, I get the bag and flip it, you get the bag and fumble it or something of that nature. I know that's Migos. I do feel like this is one of those things where, again, like you guys use time where you were being excluded, counted out, laughed off to, I don't know, this could be one of those things where you guys were being excluded from hangouts and you just used all those nights where you were at home while everyone else was partying to study and like, you know, learn a course and use that course to get a really high paying job. This could be one of those things where you guys were, you know, your ideas were always kind of shushed off or you were just seen as ignored, excusable, and you guys took all of that isolation and that solitude and used it to improve yourself. And I do feel like this is you guys, like, you know, I'm hearing there's nothing about where you're at right now that can be messed with. You also may have people coming back in again who are trying to be in your good graces, but they're trying to, I'm hearing, backdoor you. And I do feel like, again, like wherever you are at in your life right now, there's no way that this can be taken from you. There's no way that there can be any interference. No one can interfere with what you have going on. Which is funny, you also have hustle mode, grinding hard, ambitious drive, determined effort, sleep can wait, and you have energy vampire, draining connections, toxic influence, protect your energy, time to cut cords. You guys may also just be so laser focused on what you have going on in your own life that you may not even allow these people to reconcile with you. So let's jump into your tarot. Additional messages. A lot of you may have like moved away And even if it's like you didn't like move away physically, like from your location, it could just be like you guys have moved away. That's really funny. You guys have moved away energetically. A lot of the people that are trying to reconcile with you or reconnect, like, you know, with you, you're going to see right through them. This could be, again, I think I said earlier, I'm good enough now. You may truly just feel disgusted by someone even thinking that they could circle back to you or re-enter your life or try to include you in activities that you were once excluded from before, because it's so obvious that they're only extending this offer to you because they feel like you're good enough now. You may know good and well that these are people who are trying to take something from you, even if it's not like people asking you for money. This could be one of those things where, like, you know, if you were a smaller creator and you would reach out to larger creators trying to collab or be friends, and they would ignore you, and now that you guys are gaining recognition, they're responding to your DMs, they're asking you to, like, you know, come out to lunch, and you're just like, no, I know that you only want to engage with me now because you feel like my ideas are worth listening to. You realize my content is, you know, of use. This is you guys either way just rejecting some people who are extending you some kind of offer that at one point you were waiting on, or you were, I'm hearing, hoping for. With the Fool upright being clarified by the Chariot upright, again, I feel like this is you guys being in a whole new era of your life. Therefore, you're not interested in anyone from the past. You're not open to reconnecting with anyone from the past. I do feel like this is you guys just being so far removed emotionally or physically that, like, you know, you don't even have the, I'm hearing, opportunity to look in the direction of anyone from your past. The Five of Wands in a reverse being clarified by the Tower upright. I do feel like this Tower moment represents, again, you guys being in a season of your life where you were down and out, but you took that. I always see the Tower as destroying and rebuilding to make something better. You guys took that Tower moment, or you took that down and out season, and you made it work for you. I feel like, again, you guys are no longer fighting. You guys are no longer struggling. You guys are no longer having to worry about, like, you know, where your next bill payment will come from, where your next this will come from. You no longer have to worry about the future. With the Ace of Wands in the reverse being clarified by the Ace of Cups in the reverse, again, I do feel like this is you guys literally blocking the advances of some people who at one point you really did want to have a call back, a text back, invitation out. You really wanted to be friends. You really wanted to be, like, you know, in a relationship. You really wanted to be family. You really wanted, you know, but I feel like you guys have everything that you need around you. You have created your own safe space. The safe space can also be you guys finding people who saw your worth and saw your value the first time. Either way, I feel like you are happy where you're at, and ultimately you are just keeping this Ace of Cups that you have to yourself, and also rejecting the fake Ace of Cups that is being, it's really funny, rejecting the face. Again, two-faced people who are trying to smile in your face, but you know it's fake. But anyway, you're rejecting the fake Ace of Cups that is being extended to you by people from your past. Which is bringing me to that Four of Cups upright. I do feel like collective, you guys could be feeling a bit like, not resentful, but a bit disgusted, a bit like, you know, insulted. You may feel like some people are trying to play on your intelligence. You see right through them. I do feel like these are people trying to offer you, again, friendship, companionship, family, whatever. These are people trying to offer you something that at one point they were trying to hold it over your head or dangle it over your head and act like you have to jump through hoops and, like, you know, spin around in a circle 3 times before they even give you a crumb of what you were asking for. And I'm hearing deserving. I feel like this is you guys realizing that, like, you know, you are always deserving of people admiring you, acknowledging you, you know, shaking your hand, inviting you out. You are always worthy. I'm hearing worth also. You are always worth, you know, being able to sit at the same tables at people who act like you had to kind of sit beside the table and eat on the floor and, like, you know, just lick up the scraps and stuff like that. This is you guys kind of like, you know, just thinking of all the times people try to count you out, and I'm hearing play on your top, and you're just like, no, I'm good. I don't want this offer now. And I don't think you guys are trying to make people feel how they made you feel, but I feel like this is just unfortunately how they're seeing it, or these are people who are just feeling it. These are people who are very aware of it. I'm hearing well within your right. Okay, so let's close these messages out for the collective, please. What closing messages do we have for the collective? I really tried to do the all signs readings like this week, like, you know, Aries through Pisces, but by the time I got to like Sagittarius and Capricorn, I just realized that that's really not my thing. I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to be doing that. I really enjoy these type of messages. I think this is what you have to look forward to if you are going to be a part of the YouTube collective. Maybe once in a while when we have more of a, you know, following on here, we can go live and do an all signs reading. But as for posting day by day, weekly messages or whatever. Not interested. I won't be doing that moving forward. Okay. And this wants to jump out also, so I will take that. There we go. I don't know why I'm thinking of that story about the hen where she was trying to make some bread and she's going around asking her friends, like, you know, who want to help me? And her friends are like, not I. And by the time she finishes, like, you know, cooking her bread, everyone's like, that bread smells good. Let me have some. And she's like, fuck no, this is my bread. But that's what I'm thinking of. Again, collective, you guys could have been in a really down and out season of your life. This could have been you guys, again, just going through some kind of instability and people making fun of your situation instead of helping you, or people trying to make you feel worse about your situation instead of, like, you know, understanding. This could have been you guys being a smaller creator or trying to get into, like, you know, a new niche or a new group. It could be like as a musician or an artist, and like you just needing guidance, you needing support, you needing like some people to just, you know, invite you in or welcome you in, and instead of being welcomed in, you were isolated, you were shunned. Whatever it is, I feel like you guys took all of that isolation, that neglect, that, you know, being left out, being laughed at, being laughed off, you took that and you just kind of said, okay, fine, nobody wants me, no one wants to help me, I'm going to move out the way and figure it out on my own. This could have been you guys constantly being at jobs where people just made you feel excluded, always bullied you, kind of like, you know, just messed with you to the point where you had no choice but to step down. And you guys got tired of going through that and decided to just make your own business. Whatever it is that you guys were going through, I feel like you created a finished product. But not only did you create a finished product, you created a finished product that, like, you know, is, again, everlasting. I feel like whatever you built for yourself cannot be messed with, cannot be taken from you. I'm hearing it's on me or it's in me, not on me. I feel like this is one of those things where people see, like, you know, they see what you did, they see like what they created. I'm hearing created a monster. And with the Three of Pentacles in reverse being clarified by the Queen of Cups upright, I feel like not only did they create a monster, they created a monster who's not looking to be, like, you know, reintroduced back into society. They're not looking to be invited into, you know, the group of creators now that their work is worth something. I feel like this is you guys just kind of like nurturing yourself and being okay and content with yourself. I do also feel like this is a thing where you guys are building a much better life. This could be you guys building a business where you like your employees, you like your coworkers. This could be you guys building a friend group where you like the people who, like, you know, you call your friend and they also like you and they liked you the first time. It's not after breaking you down and tearing you down and beating you down before, like, they will welcome you in. I feel like this is one of those things where you're happy where you're at because you have people that make you feel happy. You have a life that makes you feel happy. You are also happy with yourself. And I do feel like, again, you guys are very focused on continuing to build that up. Which is bringing me to the Two of Wands in reverse, being clarified by the Six of Wands upright. I feel like you are also shocking yourself. I feel like, again, there could have been a point in your life where you really felt like, damn, like maybe this is all I have to look forward to. Maybe this is all my life will ever be. And I feel like this was literally other people's energies being projected onto you. This is other people who felt like, you know, the collective will never get anywhere. The collective will always be homeless. The collective will always be broke. The collective will always, like, you know, be bullied out of their jobs, and they'll never have a job because no job will want them. The collective will always be blacklisted because we've slandered them and smeared their name. I feel like this is people who kind of, again, counted you out and really also hoped this for you, and you started to believe it. But with the Six of Wands upright, again, you took all of that and you transmuted it, and now you have, again, people who recognize your worth. You have a job, you're working at a job where people are making you feel welcomed, your work is being valued, your effort is being valued. Or you created your own business where you have no one bossing you around and you can hire people and make them feel how you always wanted to feel when you worked for other people. This could be, again, you guys being laughed out of a certain scene and you just kind of created your own lane, and now people are like, oh my god, the collective is doing so good at this, let me try to, like, you know, befriend them. And you're like, no, it's okay, because I took all of that rejection and I found people who accept me and accept me the first time. And also, if no one's accepting me, I accept myself. And you guys took that acceptance and used it to literally create something that cannot be touched. The Queen of Wands in reverse being clarified by the Fool upright, and the Seven of Wands upright. I do feel like plain and simple, this is you guys, again, stepping into a new season, being so in love with this new season of your life that you wouldn't even dare to look back or talk to or engage with people who made you feel for a second like you are not this Queen of Wands, who made you feel for a second like you're undesirable, who made you feel for a second like your words, your efforts, your creations are not worth something to society, who made you feel like basically you shouldn't feel like you're worth something to society. And I do feel like this is you standing very firm on that. Again, there could have been people who expected to hear from you by now, who expected to see you just down and out. And when they turn around to look in your direction, they realize that you are living a life that is, I'm hearing blinding. Like, you know, you are literally shining so bright that it truly has some people feeling blindsided, basically. And at the bottom of the deck, you do have the Six of Pentacles in a reverse, as well as the High Priestess upright, and the Knight of Cups in a reverse, and this Ace of Cups in a reverse. And I do feel like, again, this is, you know, you guys probably having some people that, like, are coming back around, trying to befriend you, and it's tempting, but ultimately your gut is telling you not to even go down that route, not to even revisit that story, not to revisit that timeline. I do feel like this is you, again, just reminding yourself of how people made you feel, intentionally or not, they made you feel that way. And I feel like this is you really just accepting that you have to stand on that. You have to leave some people on the other side of that fence. But thank you for sitting through this reading. I hope to see you next time. Y'all take care.